Have you heard that you can't grow things through the summer in the deep south? It's just too hot. It's just too humid. It's just too wet with all the rain. Well, you can grow things through the summer, but you've got to transition your spring garden into your summer garden. Now, most of my harvest is already finished, but I want to take you on a tour through my garden and show you exactly how I'm turning each bed into a bed that's ready for what I'm going to grow this summer. And each bed is a little bit different. So come along into the garden with me.
All I have needs I have not provided.
A quick rundown. This was green beans. I've already started the transition here. And so what I did is I took all the cobs from the corn that I cut the corn off the cob. I put all those cobs down underneath the soil. So what I did is I dug a trench right in the middle of this bed, dumped all those corn cobs down there. And if there was any green bean plants left, I also put those down in there and then just covered it up. It's not a real exact science. As you can see, it's pretty rough, and that's just fine. We don't have to reform beds at this point. Well, my goal this morning, before it gets really, really hot, is to have all this corn cut down and buried. We'll see if I get there. If not, I'll just have to pace myself and do it another day. So I have what I call a garden rake, a leaf rake, shovel, clippers, and for me a wheelbarrow is essential because, well, you'll see the routine that I've got to make my job a little easier. Now I do like to wear gloves because I am allergic to the corn plants, and I have actually several white men's shirts. They're cotton, and they do protect me from the sun as well as from the corn stalks. So I do have enough room for the wheelbarrow down here. But what I like to do is to cut the corn stalks in pieces. I don't want to try to wrestle it out of the ground. It's been raining several times through this past week, and boy, they're in there really good. So I just cut and then cut all the way to the bottom. And then I just load it into my wheelbarrow just so I have it handy for the next step. A lot of people get frustrated with trying to grow things in the subtropics, but it's really not that it's difficult to grow things in the subtropics. It's really only a matter of understanding the rhythm of the land where you live. It doesn't matter if you live in the subtropics or you live further up north. Just understand what's going on with the seasons. So I never have to worry about getting all my crops in before the snow comes. I have to worry about planting things like corn and beans early enough so that the time for them to produce beans isn't caught up with the summer humidity. Whoops, where'd it go? When I plant corn, I try to time it so that they mature the first couple weeks of June, because June typically is the time when it starts raining, and corn has to be watered. It takes a lot of water, and so I just try to time it so that the rain will help me with keeping it watered. This year, the rain has come late, And my corn got done by the end of May. This is already, what, the 12th? And the last of the corn was harvested a couple of days ago. And that means I've been harvesting for 2 weeks already. So it was done by the first week of June. So, you know, you just do your best to catch the rhythms. So the next stage is to dig a trench deep enough to hold all those corn stalks. So I'm going to go both ways here, make it as wide as I can. So now I've got corn stalks left in the ground anyway. It's kind of keeping me from going wide with this. You know, if you're really strong, you can pull your corn stalks out. But man, it's a pretty good challenge. So I just, in the last years, I've been leaving them in because I just don't have that strength to pull them out without a big struggle. So the next stage is fill up this trench the best you can with the corn stalks. So as you see, the sun's coming up pretty good. Just arrange them down in there the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you have some leaves that hang out at the end, it's going to be okay. So what happens if you can't get all your corn stalks in the trench where the corn was growing? It's okay. You can use your corn stalks somewhere else where you're moving things around in your garden. And what happens if I can only get 2 beds done and I didn't get the other 2 beds done? If it does not rain, I am going to water that corn so that it stays green. You see, it's really important to bury your corn stalks before they completely die, if at all possible. The green is what helps it decompose quicker. So all those weeds, then you can come back over and just pull up the weeds that were growing and put them in there right along with your corn stalks. If you have another crop that has plenty of green on it, add it if you want. I think I have plenty for here, and I doubt I'm going to get them all in here. So I'll be using the corn stalks in other beds that I need to turn. So now I've got to strategize. If I have corn stalks left over, maybe I'll leave this right now and I'll go turn another bed that doesn't have all the green stuff. So it's okay if you end up with leaves sticking out. It's not going to hurt a thing. But if you want to go through and straighten them up a little bit, that's fine. But these are ready for the next stage of our project. If you saw my video about how I form my beds at the end of winter, then you might have caught on that I only form my beds once a year. We've got a runaway pea vine here. And so I'm not being real particular about making sure this is a nice, neat looking bed, because I'm most likely going to be planting peanuts. In fact, that's my plan. I'm going to plant peanuts right over the top of these, but I'm going to give the corn stalks some time to decompose for 2 or 3 weeks before I plant the peanuts. And the peanuts are not going to care whether this is a big bed or not. By the time next spring comes around, it will need to be reformed, because by then it will have been used for peanuts, and I may follow up the peanuts with a winter crop. And once the winter crops are done, that's when I come back through and add any supplements that a soil test will tell me that I still need in my soil. In the meantime, look what you've done. You've been building up your soil all year long. So when the peanuts are done and harvested, those plants will also be returned right back to the bed. And that way, you followed up the corn, which is a heavy feeder, with peanuts that feed your soil and return some of the depleted nutrients back to your soil. One down, 3 to go. So I'm going to do the rest of these off camera, or as many as I can get done today. And this is going to be fine. With the rain and the heat, this is going to settle down, and everything underneath it's going to start to decompose. Man, this is why we get out very early in the morning. And that's why I wear one of the reasons why I wear a long sleeve shirt. Instead of carrying a rag around, I've got my sleeves.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto